Katie Wu graduated in 2018, and I am the Dodgers beat writer for The Athletic.
Jack Harris graduated in 2019. I'm the Dodgers beat writer for the California Post.
I know you guys have been doing each of your jobs for a while now, but the surrealness of going from being a student at Cronkite to now you're covering the best baseball team in the world.
Yeah, I mean it's. I think the cool part about Cronkite specifically for like what we do now is that when you go to school out here, you're around baseball, right? Like covering baseball, covering spring training. It's such a big part of the experience you get out of going to Cronkite. So I think it helped, open doors for us when we got into our professional careers. And then, I kind of went to a place that I think helped with some of those early steps on this path.
Same. When I went to Arizona State, I did the sports bureau and the spring both for 2 years because I wanted as much baseball experience as possible. And one of the very first camps I was sent to was actually Dodgers camp. So it was very surreal. This is my first year covering the Dodgers after 5 years covering the St. Louis Cardinals to come back to Camelback Ranch, several years after graduating and kind of being like a full circle moment. So it's definitely a surreal feeling. I am grateful for it. And every time I think about how lucky I am to have a career covering baseball, I think about how I started at Arizona State and what the Cronkite School brought to me. And it is just a very overwhelming feeling.
How do you guys think the opportunities you guys had at Cronkite set you up to get where you guys are at now?
Yeah, I think, one of the things that is unique about going to school at ASU and going to Cronkite are just all the opportunities you get as a student to cover stuff, whether it's ASU athletics itself. It's such a big athletic department. There's so many interesting sports. They do a really good job of giving access to students. And then you're also around like a lot of smart, experienced people who help you, figure out how to do the job, right? So whether it's Paula Bovin or Ted Miller was a professor I had while I was there, you get a lot of experience and lessons from people that have done this job at a really high level for a long time. And when you combine that, like the actual teaching part with the opportunity part, I think it's what makes the school, especially when it comes to sports, as effective as it's become.
I think when you look at the resources of the school, not just the networking, the connections like Jack said, but also covering sports in the Valley, you have Arizona State, you have all of the 4 professional major teams, you have the PGA Tour out here, you have all these women professional sports. So there is something for you no matter what you want to do, what sport you want to cover. Again, for me, always wanting to covering baseball, there's no better time to come out and cover sports than spring and being able to do spring training. So when you combine the resources, the accessibility, and just the overall, I think, knowledge that the Arizona State School brings, I mean, it's an invaluable place for anyone that's, I think, looking to expand their knowledge in sports journalism. I certainly would be far, far less prepared if I didn't go there.
For you guys, if you had a piece of advice that you give to a current Cronkite student, what would it be?
Yeah, I think it's simple, but work hard. Like the benefit of being at a place like Cronkite is there are a lot of opportunities that if you pursue and you work hard at them, they'll lead to other opportunities in your future. So it's just about taking advantage of, the advantages that come with going to that school and being able to cover sports in this market even as a student. And if you do that, you look at the track record of the school, and I think it suggests that if you do that, you're going to be able to find a path in this career.
I think it's to use your connections and network. The Cronkite School, you can find and meet so many people in so many different avenues of sports journalism and sports media. And we all know how competitive sports media can be, but it gets a little easier once you start making connections and using the people that you know. So the Cronkite School has certainly brought myself such a network, and I still use it to this day, use Arizona State to kind of make a connection and see where that goes. So if I'm an aspiring journalist at this school, use those connections, use the resources, and hopefully it works out.